distinguished colleagues, members of the press, and everyone who has taken time to be here this morning for this press conference. You're very welcome. My name is Uchenna Ogunedo Akingbade. I'm the chairman of the NBA Lagos branch, and we are here today for a press conference for our upcoming Law Week. Over the years, over the decades, part of the legal tradition, part of the legal culture is for lawyers to gather together, build capacity, talk about topical issues, talk about issues of national importance, talk about, where our profession is today and how we can elevate it. This is an age-old tradition that we are keeping with by organizing the 2026 Law Week of the NBA Lagos branch. It's an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. Times are changing. A lot is happening. Not only are we in the digital age, we are in the intelligence age. Things are changing so fast. The legal profession is a conservative one. It's one that is... The legal profession is a conservative one. Is one... There's distraction coming from the back, please. Madam, distractions. Thank you. The legal profession is a conservative one. Is one that we value our traditions, we thrive on precedents, and we don't just do things arbitrarily. Now, with all these changes that are happening in the world, how do we strike a balance between our traditional, our noble profession, the precedents that have been established, the way that we are used to doing things over centuries? How do we strike a balance? That speaks to the heart of the 2026 Law Week. Lawyering in the digital age, navigating technology, justice, and innovation. So when we come together, we talk as colleagues, seniors, transfer their knowledge, we cross-mentor across generations, interact, network, develop opportunities, and like I said, figure out how we can move the legal profession to align with current trends. The Law Week is an annual event. Every year, the NBA Lagos branch has, taken the bar higher with the Law Week. It gets more interesting. This year's Law Week, we have a lot of erudite speakers lined up. We have the privilege of having the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekere Eko, GCOM, to serve as our keynote speaker. Whilst it is a gathering for lawyers, but there are other stakeholders in the society as well. So we would have other people, businessmen, captains of industry, law enforcement. So it's not just lawyers that are going to be at the Law Week. It's going to be interesting and it's going to be highly impactful. So we'll let the chair of the Law Week Planning Committee and other members of the Law Week Planning Committee expand on what the Law Week has to offer. The NBA Lagos branch is the foremost branch of the NBA in the country. It's the largest. We have over 20,000 members. So it's the epicenter of where decisions in the legal profession emerge from. That gives context into how critical our 2026 Law Week and the decisions that will come out of that 2026 Law Week are. So we yield to the Law Week Planning Committee to give us more details, and thank you for coming.
Now, as the branch chair has said, this year's Law Week is themed Lawyering in the Digital Age, Navigating Technology, justice, and innovation. And the whole idea about that is that, like you rightly pointed out, we are a conservative profession. Be that as it may, we do recognize the advent of technology in our professional lives, and of course the increasing, if I may say, dependence on technology. And the whole idea is that we do not lose out on the importance of technology in the work that we do. We do not also lose sight of the core of our profession, which is justice. And to ensure that we are in touch and flexible to innovation is the reason for the theme of this year's conference. Now, the conference actually is not the only activity during the course of the Law Week. So, during the course of the Law Week, we start with the health work, which takes off on the 27th, Saturday the 27th of June, because like is usually said, health is wealth. Without health, we're all lost. I'm sure we all understand that. So that takes place on the 27th of June, on Saturday. And then we come to the 2-day conference scheduled for the 29th and the 30th of June. Now, under that theme, as the chairperson has informed us, we will have the keynote address given by the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekere Ekun, GCON, on the topic Beyond Disruption, Redefining Legal Practice at the Intersection of Law, Technology, and Justice, which speaks to the heart of the theme for this year. Following thereon, we have the first session, which has the topic, The Rise of AI in Legal Practice, Threat or Tool for the Modern Lawyer. As we all appreciate, there are challenges with the use of AI, and we will be interrogating some of those challenges whilst we highlight the benefits. Session 2 is titled Enhancing Justice Delivery through e-filing and virtual hearings, Opportunities, Challenges, and Implementation. We are glad to say we will have members of the judiciary, the honorable judges, join us at this event to shed light on how lawyers can manage the changes that have been introduced in the legal space, in the judiciary specifically, with e-filing and virtual hearings. I'm also glad, I think it will be appropriate to state here that the Honorable Chief Judge of Borno State, the Honorable Justice Kazim Zana, will be chairing this particular session. And of course, alongside the other judges, Justice Faji of the Federal High Court and Justice Oshodi of the Lagos State High Court, amongst notable practitioners who will also be representing the bar to look into the challenges we have experienced with it. The third session for the day is an interesting one. It is the Oxford-style debate on the topic Digital Innovation Will Fail to Reform Nigeria Justice System if Ethical Compromise Remains the bane of the legal profession. And again, the idea is that we do not lose sight of, our ethics in the profession. It's extremely important, that we remember who we are and we are held to a particular standard, and that's why we are known as learned anyway, and to check that even with the presence and assistance of AI, we don't lose sight of that fundamental, the ethics of the profession. So we'll have I like to call them two giants of the profession, debating this issue. Mr. Babajide Ogundipe and Mr. Olashupo Shashore, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And it's a session that will be chaired by no other but the Mrs. Hariat Balogu, OON, my apologies. So it's an interesting one, and we're glad that we have very senior members of the bar involved in this to ensure that, even the young ones coming along understand the tenets of the profession. We then go on to an activity at the close of day one, which will be an AI demo. Again, to assist, our colleagues, young or old, on the use of AI to ensure that the benefits are not lost on our colleagues. On day 2, we then have session 4, which again, being lawyers, we cannot run away from the realities of our time, from trending issues, and from what is important. And we're all aware that general elections hold next year. So the topic is titled 2027 General Elections, Leveraging Technology to Achieve Election Integrity. Again, we have a panel headed by a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association in the person of Austin Alege, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We will have, notable personalities on that panel discussing this issue as well. And then session 5 is what we have termed the hot topic, because it's trending, it's relevant, it needs to be discussed. And this is the Cybercrimes Act and freedom of speech, justified derogation or overreach. I'm sure a lot of us will appreciate why this is the hot topic, given the recent, activities in this space, where the law enforcement agency has used, the Cybercrimes Act to actually prosecute those who have been alleged to have defamed others. Is that the appropriate way to go? That's why it's up for conversation. Is it simply a civil? Should it only be covered as a civil suit? That's why it's up for conversation. We will have with us, hopefully, the enforcement agencies, the police represented, of course, along with a good number of lawyers in this session who will be interrogating this topic. And we also do expect to have the media with us. So we welcome a representative of the media to join the conversation. And we hope that, we will sufficiently discuss this issue to provide insight, possibly even from law enforcement agencies, and, to air the grievances or the constraints of the Act. We then will have our session 6, which was curated by the in-house counsel, also our professional colleagues, even if they may not be in practice as we know it, they may not be litigators. So they have curated a topic that is extremely relevant to them, and it's data protection from compliance to crisis management. And we do expect that justice will be done to that topic. And the final session for the day, not the least valuable, but it is the final session for day 2, will be that curated by the Young Lawyers Forum. And it is titled Beyond Paying Dues for Fair Remuneration and Sustainable Growth for Young Lawyers. Like I like to say, it's who wears the shoes that knows where it pinches. The young lawyers have come up with a topic they consider relevant to them. Excuse me. Now, and that's it for the 2-day session. Now, alongside the technical sessions, we're going to have the regulatory clinic, where regulators will be available to attend to members on issues they usually face and sometimes find difficult to get answers to, to attend to queries, to attend to inquiries, and directions on how to go about their business. Amongst these will be the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the FCCPC. Now, the National Judicial Council IT department will also be present to again assist colleagues in the implementation of e-filing, to deal with the challenges, the ongoing challenges colleagues may be going through, and to give assistance in whatever way that can be done. We do expect a few more regulators, and of course we'll circulate that information as we obtain confirmation from them. Now, we'll also be having an experience center. It's our theme this year is technology based, so to speak. So we will be having an experience center that will be available for members who attend the conference. And as usual, we will have the exhibition stands for an array of law-related items, from books to other things, accessories that lawyers require from time to time. In addition, we will be having medical support from 2 hospitals that have partnered with us, First Cardiology Consultants and Evercare Hospital. They will be available to provide screening to members who attend, and also will be getting a few minutes of a health talk from one of them. Now, on Wednesday, the 1st of July, we will have the professional development master classes. This is with sincere thanks to firms, volunteering firms that have offered to provide these sessions. It will be hosted by these firms, so it will be hosted in their offices to registrants, to those who register for these firms. And we have them in the following practice areas. Alternative dispute resolution, ADR, will be provided by Akinwumi and Busari. Blockchain and emerging technologies by Palmer Partners. Maritime law by the firm of Femi Atoyebi and Co. Tax law by OA2 Law, and trademark law by Jackson, Etsy, and Edu. So our thanks go to these firms who are hosting these classes. They have been carefully curated to ensure that knowledge is shared with all who participate in them. Now, on Wednesday, the 1st of July as well, but in the evening this time around, we will be having the Elders' Night, as has been the tradition of the branch, and this will be holding at Muzon Center. And about the same time, sometime that day, the young members will be having an event. On Thursday, the 2nd of July, we will have the town hall meeting at the Muzon Center. Of the 27 aspirants for various positions for the national offices of the Nigerian Bar Association, excluding the aspirants for council members, we didn't include those. 24 of them have confirmed that they will be present to share with us their manifestos, their plans, and reasons why they will be soliciting our votes. So again, everyone is welcome to attend this forum. And then Friday, which is the last day of the law week. In the morning, we will have our legal clinic, again, as has been the practice over time. Our legal clinic where we visit the prisons and assist as many as we can with their legal issues. And at the same time, we'll have the charity visit to a selected hospital or orphanage. Those are still on the works, but it is planned and it's something we will be carrying out. And then, of course, in the evening, after a week of, did I say hard work? Maybe, intellectual engagement. We then get to let our head down, and it will be the closing party, open, and preparations that be made for 1,000 participants. So I think with that, that's it. Those are the activities for the week. Registration has been very encouraging, and unfortunately it has closed because we're fully subscribed a few days after the closure of the early bird. So in conclusion, we continue to work towards putting the final touches to all the arrangements we have made to ensure that we bring to the branch an intellectually stimulating, engaging and enlightening conference. Also a relaxing one. So we welcome everyone to join us, and we thank again the press for your support.
I'll quickly speak about the impacts that we hope to achieve with this conference that we've put together. We're all aware of how technology is rapidly changing. It's changing the world in unimaginable ways at breakneck speed. Those of you who are following the war in Ukraine know how AI drones, for example, are seriously changing the outcomes. One would have thought that Russia would have won this war and moved on a long time ago, but technology is making that more difficult for it. The legal profession in Nigeria is not immune from these technological changes. We're part of society and it affects us in one way or the other. So with the sessions that Madam Chair of the Planning Committee has already listed and outlined, we hope that at the end of the day, we're able to change the way our colleagues practice law. We hope that we can deploy technology in a more efficient way and become more productive. How do we use technology to change the way in which we carry out research? How do we use technology to review documents for our clients? How do we use technology to draft documents? Also, lawyers do not operate in a vacuum. We operate hand in glove with the judiciary, with the system of administration of justice. So no matter how technologically advanced we are, if the judiciary doesn't keep up with us, if the system of administration of justice doesn't keep up with us, we'll be wasting our time. So we're also going to spend time focusing, right, on the technological advancements that have already taken place. And we do acknowledge that the judiciary is taking steps to deploy technology. Quite a number of courts have deployed e-filing systems. They've deployed virtual hearing into their rules of court. So we want to assess, the progress that has been made so far, and also want to, discuss suggestions. In what ways can the system of administration of justice be improved with technology? For us, the ultimate beneficiary from these deliberations will be our clients and the public. Because if we're able to effectively deploy technology in our practice of law, if we're able to effectively deploy technology in the system of administration of justice, we're better able to serve our clients. The courts are better able to deliver justice to the people. Now, even though our conference, right, focuses on technology, we're looking at lawyering in a digital age, we have actually gone beyond that to look at two areas that are even though they are not directly related to technology, they do impact the way we carry out the work that we do, right? And that, as Madam Chair of the Planning Committee has said, is a question of ethics in the profession. We're going to have an Oxford-style debate involving ethics. How are lawyers behaving? Where can we improve the conduct of lawyers? What are we doing to discipline lawyers who fall out of line? We're also looking at a subject that is very, very important to us, which is the welfare of our young lawyers. I think if at the end of this conference we're able to increase the awareness and come up with suggestions as to how to improve discipline at the bar and also to improve the welfare of our young lawyers, we would have gone a long way in achieving our goals. Thank you very much.
Of the planning committee, I want to first of all express our profound gratitude to the chairman of the branch, who is the chief visionary and the planner of this Law Week. I want to thank her for the privilege she's given us to plan this event and all the support she's been giving us so far. Again, I want to thank my colleagues that are here, the members of the planning committee, starting from the chairman. We've been working tirelessly to make this week a success. Thank you for your commitment, thank you for your efforts, thank you for everything, and thank you for making it here in spite of the weather. And then, even more or most importantly, I want to thank members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, for honoring our invitation. Like the chairman mentioned during her opening remarks, the Law Week is not just for lawyers. We're expecting other stakeholders. So we're expecting you to be part of all the activities, starting from the health walk on Saturday all through the week. I wish I could also extend an invitation to our colleagues, other lawyers who have not registered, but fortunately or unfortunately, you are oversubscribed, and it's too late to do that. Maybe you read about the success of the event in the papers. But I want to thank members of the press. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We believe that you give the event, all the events of the week, wide coverage as much as possible. And we're partners in this. So thank you very much. Thank you.